I held the cold, heavy metal gun in my shaking hand. I was completely ready to die tonight. But a tiny bloody monster saved my miserable life. I only said one word. My name is Arthur. I am a retired military veteran. I live totally alone in a small dark house. Terrible bloody nightmares attack my broken mind every single night. I cannot sleep or find any quiet peace. The loud heavy rain hit my glass window tonight. The cold winter wind blew through the empty trees. I felt completely exhausted. I wanted to escape this painful dark world forever. I lost all my bright hope. I sat in my old wooden chair in the dark room. I closed my tired, sad eyes slowly. I raised the cold, heavy gun toward my head. I was ready to pull the final sharp trigger. Suddenly, a weak, strange sound broke the heavy silence. Something scratched my front wooden door softly. I opened my eyes in pure sudden shock. I lowered the heavy metal gun and listened carefully. The scratching sound continued slowly. It was a very weak, desperate cry for help. I stood up on my tired, shaking legs. I walked toward the heavy front door. I turned the cold metal lock quietly. I opened the thick door and looked into the dark, freezing rain. I looked down at the wet welcome mat. A terrible, bloody mess lay on the cold ground. It was a small, broken street dog. The poor animal was covered in thick, dark red blood. His brown fur was completely soaked and dirty. He could not stand on his weak, broken legs. He breathed very slowly and painfully in the cold wind. I looked closer at his bleeding mouth. The dog held a small, shiny metal object between his sharp teeth. I recognized the old, dirty object instantly. It was my old, lost military dog tag. I threw the metal tag into the garbage many long days ago. I wanted to forget my painful military past. This dying brave dog dug it out of the cold trash. He brought it back to me tonight. A single hot, wet tear fell down my rough cheek. I kneeled on the cold, wet ground. The dying dog lifted his heavy head slowly. He pushed his wet nose against my sad, crying face gently. He used his absolute last drop of energy to lick my salty tear. His warm, rough tongue touched my cold skin. Then his heavy head fell back onto the hard, wet ground. He closed his eyes completely. His weak body stopped moving in the dark, freezing rain. He looked completely dead. The tiny, bloody animal gave me a sudden, massive purpose. I dropped my heavy metal gun onto the floor. I had to save him. I picked up his bloody, broken body with my strong arms. I did not care about the dark, dirty blood on my clean shirt. I ran toward my old, rusty truck. Our long, difficult journey started tonight. I drove my old, loud truck through the dark, stormy night. I drove much faster than the strict legal speed limit. The bloody dog lay on the passenger seat. He did not move or make a single sound. I arrived at a small, bright animal hospital quickly. I kicked the glass doors open with my heavy, wet boots. I shouted loud, desperate words for immediate medical help. A smart, kind doctor named Sarah ran toward me. Dr. Sarah took the bloody dog from my shaking arms. She carried him into a bright, clean operating room. She ordered me to wait outside in the quiet hallway. I sat on a hard plastic chair alone. I stared at the dark red blood on my shaking hands. I prayed silently for the tiny, brave animal. Many long, anxious hours passed in the quiet white hallway. Finally, Dr. Sarah walked out of the surgical room. Her pretty face looked incredibly serious and totally exhausted. She told me the dog survived the difficult, bloody surgery. He was a very strong, tough fighter. But she delivered some terrible, shocking dark news next. Dr. Sarah said the dog was not hit by a fast car. She examined his deep, ugly wounds carefully. She found clear, solid proof of severe, cruel animal abuse. A terrible, evil monster tortured the innocent dog intentionally. She said someone used sharp metal tools to hurt the poor animal. Pure dark angry fire burned deep inside my chest. I hated cruel evil bullies completely. I walked into the quiet recovery room to see the dog. The brave dog slept quietly on a soft, clean white bed. Thick white bandages covered his entire broken body. I looked closely at his short brown fur. I noticed a large, strange burn scar on his left shoulder. The thick, ugly scar looked exactly like a specific military burn. I remembered a terrible, bloody explosion in the hot desert. My best loyal friend died in that massive fire to save my young life. My dead friend had the exact same ugly burn scar on his left shoulder. A massive, heavy wave of pure shock hit my mind. The universe sent this specific broken dog to my dark, quiet house tonight. This was not a random lucky accident. This was a clear, powerful sign from the bright heavens. I touched his soft, warm head gently. I promised to protect this brave, innocent soldier with my own life. I brought the heavily bandaged dog back to my quiet, dark house. I placed him gently on a soft, warm bed in my bedroom. I did not want to leave him alone. I stayed awake to watch him. The house was completely, totally silent. The dark, quiet night always brought terrible, scary memories. My mind traveled back to the loud, bloody war. I remembered the screaming voices and the massive, bright explosions clearly. A sudden, heavy panic attack hit my tired brain. I fell to the hard, wooden floor instantly. I hugged my knees tightly against my shaking chest. I could not breathe the cold, thin air. I felt completely trapped. Hot, wet tears fell down my pale, scared face. I was a strong, brave soldier, but I felt like a weak, lost child. I waited for the dark, terrifying nightmare to end. Suddenly, I felt a warm touch. The broken, injured dog dragged his weak body across the floor. He ignored his own terrible, sharp physical pain. He crawled slowly toward my shaking, scared body in the dark corner. He wanted to help his new friend. He placed his heavy, warm head gently on my shaking leg. He let out a soft, quiet, comforting sound. I looked down at his beautiful, deep brown eyes. They were full of pure, innocent, bright love. I touched his soft, warm ears with my shaking hands. His calm, steady breathing helped me slow my own fast heartbeat. He anchored my floating, panicked mind to the safe, quiet, present moment. The dark ghost disappeared. We sat together on the hard wooden floor for many long hours. We comforted each other in the quiet, lonely night. We were two broken soldiers healing our deep, invisible wounds. I finally fell into a peaceful sleep. I woke up the next morning feeling strangely calm and rested. The bright, warm sun shined through my glass window. I smiled a genuine, happy smile. I looked down at the soft, warm bed to pet my friend. My happy smile vanished instantly. The soft, warm bed was completely, totally empty. The brave, injured dog was gone. I stood up quickly in pure, sudden panic. I had to find my new loyal best friend. I ran through the quiet house like a crazy wild man. I searched the bright kitchen and the small bathroom. The bandaged dog was nowhere inside the empty rooms. My heart beat very fast with pure, deep fear. I heard loud screaming police sirens outside my glass window. A fast police car drove down the busy street. I heard a tiny, weak shaking sound. It came from the dark, dusty space under my large, heavy bed. I kneeled on the wooden floor and looked under the bed. I saw the poor injured dog hiding in the dark shadows. His weak body shook violently with pure raw terror. The loud sirens terrified his broken mind. I crawled under the heavy bed slowly. I spoke to him with a soft, gentle, calm voice. I told him he was completely safe now. I named him Buster. Buster licked my rough hand and stopped shaking. Suddenly, a loud, violent knock hit my heavy front door. Someone kicked the thick wood aggressively. I crawled out from under the bed. I walked to the front door with heavy, angry steps. I opened the door quickly. A huge, ugly, dirty man stood on my front porch. He possessed cruel, dark eyes and a nasty, angry smile. He yelled loud, nasty words at me. He claimed he was the true legal owner of my dog. The ugly man threw a dirty, crumpled paper at my chest. He said it was the official legal ownership document. He demanded I return his valuable property immediately. He threatened to call the strict city police to arrest me. He promised to send me to a dark, cold prison for stealing his dog. He stepped forward to enter my clean house. Suddenly, Buster rushed out from the quiet bedroom. He did not hide in the dark anymore. Buster stood bravely in front of my legs. He ignored his terrible, painful wounds completely. He showed his sharp white teeth and growled fiercely at the ugly man. He protected me with his own weak, broken body. The cruel, ugly man stepped back in pure, sudden shock. The brave dog never dared to fight him before. Buster found a new, strong reason to fight back. He found a true, loyal friend worth dying for today. I looked at the ugly, cruel man with pure, dark anger. I pushed his dirty chest hard with my strong hands. I told him to leave my private property immediately. I promised to break his legs if he returned. I slammed the heavy wooden door directly in his nasty face. I locked the shiny metal lock securely. I kneeled down and hugged Buster tightly. I promised to protect my brave, loyal soldier from any dangerous evil monsters. Our long, beautiful healing journey started that morning. I cooked warm, healthy food for Buster every single day. I cleaned his deep, ugly wounds carefully. His broken, weak body recovered incredibly fast. He was a true tough survivor. I noticed something very strange during our daily training. Buster was incredibly smart and highly disciplined. He responded to strict, complex military commands perfectly. He only understood the loud, clear orders spoken in the harsh German language. Normal, simple street dogs do not know advanced German military commands. Buster sat, stayed, and attacked with absolute perfect precision. I called Dr. Sarah to investigate this strange, curious mystery. She brought a special digital scanner to my house. Dr. Sarah scanned Buster's neck slowly. She found a tiny hidden microchip under his soft skin. She typed the secret serial number into her fast computer. She gasped loudly in pure absolute shock. We discovered his dark past. Buster was a highly trained professional military dog. He searched for dangerous hidden bombs in the hot, bloody desert. He saved hundreds of innocent human lives. But a loud, massive explosion damaged his sensitive hearing permanently last year. The military discharged the brave hero from active duty. He was supposed to find a loving, happy home. Instead, a terrible, cruel mistake happened. He fell into the dirty, bloody hands of the illegal underground dog-fighting ring. The ugly man forced the deaf, gentle hero to fight wild, angry dogs for cheap, dirty money. He tortured Buster when he refused to kill. The ugly man was a true, cruel demon. My blood boiled with pure rage. Buster survived the dark, bloody hell and found my quiet house. We were two forgotten, broken veterans. The cruel, dark world threw us away like cheap, useless trash. But we finally found our ultimate salvation in each other. The warm spring sun melted the cold winter snow finally. Buster and I walked to the large green city park every single day. We enjoyed the fresh, clean air and the bright blue sky. My dark, heavy depression slowly disappeared completely. I started to talk to friendly strangers again. We played with a small red rubber ball on the soft green grass. Buster ran incredibly fast and caught the ball perfectly in the air. He looked incredibly happy and totally free. I smiled a genuine, warm, bright smile today. The heavy, dark ghosts left my tired mind. Suddenly, 3 large, ugly men stepped out from the dark trees. I recognized the cruel, nasty leader instantly. It was the evil dog fighter from my front porch. He brought his violent, dirty friends to steal my brave dog. They wanted to ruin our beautiful, peaceful morning intentionally. The ugly leader held a thick, heavy wooden baseball bat in his strong hands. He demanded I surrender my valuable property immediately. He wanted to force Buster back into the bloody, dark fighting ring. He threatened to smash my head into tiny pieces. He laughed a cruel, dirty laugh. I did not panic or show any weak fear. I was a highly trained professional military combat soldier. I faced terrible, massive dangers in the hot, bloody desert. I stood tall and blocked his path. Buster understood the dangerous tactical situation instantly without a single spoken word. Buster dropped the red rubber ball and ran away quickly. He acted like a scared, weak coward escaping the fight. The 3 stupid men laughed loudly at the running dog. They chased him into a narrow, empty brick alley. They fell into our perfect tactical trap instantly. I followed them into the dark, quiet alley with silent, fast steps. The 3 dirty men realized they were trapped in a dead end. They turned around and saw my cold, angry face blocking the only exit. Buster stood bravely behind them and growled fiercely, showing his sharp teeth. The ugly leader swung his heavy wooden bat at my head aggressively. I blocked his slow, stupid attack easily with my strong arm. I grabbed his dirty shirt and threw him hard against the solid brick wall. He dropped the heavy bat and fell down in pure pain. His 2 scared friends tried to punch my face with wild, angry swings. I used fast, sharp military strikes to defeat them quickly. I hit their weak bodies with precise, heavy power. They fell to the dirty ground and cried loud, ugly tears. The short, violent fight ended completely. I looked down at the 3 broken, bleeding monsters. I ordered them to leave my city and never return. I promised to end their miserable lives if they ever bothered us again. They crawled away like scared, weak rats. The dark, ugly threat was permanently destroyed today. Buster ran to my side and licked my rough hand gently. We won the dangerous, violent battle perfectly together. We protected each other like true, loyal soldiers. We walked back to our quiet, safe house in the bright, warm sun. Our strong, beautiful bond was absolutely unbreakable forever. Several quiet, peaceful months passed since the violent alley fight. Buster and I lived a very happy, normal life. We ran together around the large, beautiful city lake every morning. He was incredibly strong and completely healthy. My deep psychological wounds healed perfectly with his sweet, gentle love. One bright, sunny morning, a terrible, sudden tragedy happened. We were running our normal fast route near the green trees. Buster suddenly let out a loud, painful, sharp cry. His back legs collapsed completely on the hard cement path. He fell down and could not stand up again. I dropped to my knees in pure, sudden, absolute panic. I touched his shaking body with gentle, careful hands. He looked at me with deep, wide, terrified eyes. He whimpered softly in terrible, massive pain. I picked up his heavy body and ran to my old truck. I drove incredibly fast to the bright, clean animal hospital. Dr. Sarah took Buster into the emergency medical room immediately. I waited in the quiet white hallway for many long, anxious hours. I prayed silently for my brave best friend. I felt totally helpless and deeply scared. Dr. Sarah finally walked out with a very sad, serious face. She delivered terrible, shocking, heavy news. The old, cruel physical abuse damaged his delicate spine permanently. The old injury returned suddenly and paralyzed his back legs completely. He needed a highly complex, dangerous spinal surgery to survive. The massive, difficult surgery cost a massive fortune. It required exactly $20,000 in pure cash immediately. I was a poor retired veteran with a very small military pension. I did not possess that kind of heavy, massive wealth. My heart broke into tiny, bloody pieces. Dr. Sarah looked at me with sad, gentle pity. She asked if I wanted to end his terrible pain peacefully. She suggested putting him to sleep forever. I looked at her with pure, strong, absolute determination. I promised to find the massive money by tomorrow morning. I drove back to my quiet, empty, dark house alone. I walked to a small, dusty wooden box in my closet. I opened the locked box with shaking, weak fingers. I pulled out my shiny, heavy, solid gold Medal of Honor. It was my absolute greatest life achievement. The president gave me the Supreme National Medal for saving my fellow soldiers. It was my most precious, valuable possession in the entire world. But a shiny, cold piece of metal cannot love you back. It cannot lick your crying face or heal your broken mind. I drove to a wealthy, famous antique collector in the rich city center. I placed my shiny gold medal on his clean glass desk. I demanded exactly $20,000 in fast physical cash. The rich man looked at my serious, cold eyes and agreed instantly. I walked out with a thick, heavy envelope of green cash. I sold my proud military past to save my beautiful, bright future. I drove back to the animal hospital with a massive, bright hope. I was ready to save my loyal, brave soldier today. The top senior surgeons operated on my brave dog for 8 long hours. I sat in the quiet white waiting room and drank bad cold coffee. I did not sleep for a single minute. Dr. Sarah finally emerged with a tired, bright, happy smile on her face. She told me the complex, dangerous surgery was a massive, complete success. Buster survived the bloody, difficult procedure perfectly. He was breathing normally and resting in a warm, quiet room. A huge, heavy mountain fell off my tired, shaking shoulders. I cried soft, quiet tears of pure relief. But Dr. Sarah delivered one final piece of sad news. The delicate spinal cord was already completely dead. Buster would never walk on his back legs ever again. She worried the proud, active working dog would become deeply depressed. He needed to run and work to feel truly happy. I refused to let my brave soldier give up his beautiful life. I brought his healing, weak body back to our quiet house. I used my advanced military engineering skills to build a special, unique machine. I worked in my dusty garage for 3 long, sleepless nights. I gathered lightweight, strong aluminum pipes and soft, thick black leather. I bought 2 small, fast rubber wheels from a local bicycle shop. I measured his broken body carefully and cut the metal perfectly. I created a custom comfortable dog wheelchair for my loyal best friend. I strapped Buster into the shiny new metal machine gently. The soft leather supported his paralyzed back legs perfectly. I walked to the other side of the green grassy yard. I held his favorite red rubber ball. I called his name with a loud, happy, encouraging voice. Buster looked confused for a few short seconds. Then he pushed his strong front legs against the soft grass. The small rubber wheels spun incredibly fast. He moved forward with massive sudden speed. He realized he could finally run and play again. He barked a loud, joyful sound. We went to the large, busy public park the next bright morning. Buster ran across the wide open grass like a fast, beautiful rocket. He chased the red ball with pure, absolute total joy. His physical disability did not stop his strong, brave spirit at all. A young, friendly woman watched us play from a wooden bench. She held a smart digital phone in her hands. She recorded a beautiful, clear video of Buster running happily in his shiny wheelchair. She posted the amazing emotional video on the global public internet that afternoon. The touching emotional video spread across the entire country instantly. Millions of strangers watched the paralyzed hero run with pure bright joy. People shared the video and cried sweet happy tears. Buster became a massive famous internet sensation overnight. The beautiful miracle changed our quiet lives completely. The viral touching video reached a massive national veteran organization. The powerful group supported broken, injured soldiers across the entire country. The president of the organization called my personal phone. He invited me to speak at a massive, important public conference in the big, busy city. I felt deeply nervous and totally scared. I hated loud, noisy crowds and large, busy rooms. My dark psychological trauma usually triggered severe, sudden panic attacks in public. But I looked at Buster sitting bravely in his metal wheelchair. I decided to face my dark fears today. We walked into a massive, bright convention hall together. Thousands of proud, brave veterans sat in the large room. They clapped their hands loudly when we stepped onto the high wooden stage. Buster sat proudly next to my shaking legs. He anchored my nervous mind perfectly. I took a deep, slow breath and spoke into the microphone. I did not hide my dark, painful secrets. I told the massive, quiet crowd about my deep, terrible depression. I confessed I wanted to shoot myself on a cold, rainy night 5 long years ago. I explained how a bloody, dying street dog scratched my wooden door. I told them how this broken, abused animal saved my miserable, dark life. I shared our long, beautiful journey of mutual healing and pure, absolute love. I spoke with pure, raw, honest emotion today. I looked at the massive crowd and smiled a genuine, proud smile. I told them true, bright salvation comes when we help other broken souls. The entire massive room stood up instantly. Thousands of strong, brave men and women cried hot, wet tears. They clapped incredibly loud. A bright, huge digital news screen hung behind the stage. The news channel played a sudden breaking live report. The strict city police raided a massive illegal underground dog-fighting ring. They found the dark, dirty location because of the viral internet video. People recognized the ugly, cruel leader. The live news showed the ugly, cruel man in shiny silver handcuffs. The strict, angry police officers pushed him into a dark police car. His dangerous, illegal animal abuse network was permanently, totally destroyed. The evil, toxic monster would spend his entire life in a cold, dark prison. I watched the beautiful, absolute justice on the bright screen. The universe finally punished the cruel, dirty demon. The massive crowd cheered loudly for the perfect, flawless victory. Buster barked happily at the loud clapping noise. He was a true famous national hero today. We walked off the high wooden stage with pure bright pride. I defeated my dark, terrifying social fears completely. I found my strong, brave, confident voice again. I was ready to use my painful past to build a beautiful, bright future for other broken, struggling soldiers. 3 beautiful, quiet years passed since the massive veteran conference. Our amazing emotional story inspired millions of kind, generous people. Strangers donated a massive, heavy fortune to our special bank account. They wanted to help us save more broken, abused animals. I found my true ultimate life purpose. I used the massive donated wealth to buy a large, green, beautiful farm. I transformed the quiet, peaceful land into a modern, professional training center. We rescued sad, lonely dogs from cold, dirty city shelters. We trained the happy dogs to become certified emotional support animals. We paired the smart, trained dogs with struggling, injured military veterans. The broken soldiers found true, bright hope and sweet, gentle comfort with their new, loyal friends. Our special center healed hundreds of dark, invisible psychological wounds every single year. The beautiful magic worked perfectly every time. Buster was the absolute supreme star of the large green farm. He rolled around the soft grass in his shiny aluminum wheelchair. He welcomed every new nervous veteran with a warm, gentle kiss. His pure, innocent joy proved that a broken body cannot stop a brave spirit. I did not need my heavy gold medal anymore. My true shiny badge of honor was the genuine happy smiles on the veterans' faces. I built an unstoppable army of healing love and pure bright kindness. The dark, terrifying nightmares never returned to my clean, peaceful mind. I woke up early on a cool, fresh, beautiful morning. Buster and I walked slowly to the edge of a quiet blue lake. The bright yellow sun began to rise over the tall green trees. The beautiful golden light chased the dark, cold shadows away completely. I sat on a simple wooden bench near the calm water. Buster rested his heavy, warm head on my leg gently. I rubbed his soft brown ears with my strong, clean hands. We listened to the sweet singing birds in the quiet, peaceful morning air. I looked back at my long, painful, dark journey. I survived the bloody, violent war and the terrible, silent depression. I almost pulled the heavy metal trigger on that dark, rainy night. I almost threw away my entire beautiful, precious life for absolutely nothing. I looked down at the tiny, brave hero in the metal wheelchair. He did not possess a fancy, expensive pedigree. He was just a bloody, thrown-away street dog. But he carried a massive, bright, powerful miracle inside his tiny, broken body. He brought the light back. You cannot heal a deep, dark wound by hiding in a quiet, lonely room. True, perfect healing begins the exact moment you decide to save someone else. I rescued a dying, bloody dog from the cold, dark street. But that tiny, beautiful monster truly saved my entire soul.